Thank you for joining us for the special edition of KPBS News. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Nearly 3.5 million people in San Diego County now have at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. That number will climb as younger people are added to the list of those who are eligible. KPBS health reporter Matt Hoffman shows us the vaccine rollout for teens.
The reality is, if they don't get vaccinated, we're not going to be able to fully open up and get back to a normal life.
At Rady Children's Hospital, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Gail Knight says their vaccination clinic is open for 16 and 17-year-olds. Getting shots to minors countywide has been slow going.
We have to do some targeted campaigns to parents and the teens so that they realize how important it is to get vaccinated.
Through May 1st, about 29% of 16 and 17-year-old county residents have gotten at least one dose of the vaccine. That translates to around 22,000 teens.
We want to engage the schools to do that, because we know that we're going to have to go out and be out in the community to get the population of kids vaccinated.
Just last week, the first vaccination event targeting high school students was held at Sweetwater High in National City. For 16 and 17-year-olds, only the Pfizer vaccine is currently approved, and Dr. Knight says they have plenty of supply. And while appointments are encouraged, Rady Children's Hospitals is taking walk-ins. Parental permission is still required for minors to get their shots, and the main question doctors are hearing is, are the vaccines safe for my kid?
It's good to be able to say to them, absolutely. The 16 plus were included in the early trials. We have data, information.
And even though young people infected with the virus tend to have minor symptoms, there have been some coronavirus-related deaths.
We don't have all the information long-term about what happens with kids with COVID. So we do not want to take it for granted that kids are going to be okay. And we do know that kids get sick.
Dr. Knight says in the coming weeks, we could see federal regulators approve vaccinations for kids ages 12 to 15. She says getting minors vaccinated is critical in reaching herd immunity and protecting those most at risk.
Your older friends, your relatives, your teachers, all of the people that you think about that are older, they don't have to be 80, even the 40 or 50-year-olds.
In most cases, parents will have to be with their kids during their vaccination. Teens are monitored for a little bit longer, about 30 minutes after shots, to watch out for any symptoms. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Rady Children's Hospital was among one of the first places to get the vaccine locally. Now it's surpassed 100,000 doses given. Balloons decorated the hospital's vaccination clinic to celebrate the milestone. In many cases, an appointment is no longer needed for those who want the vaccine. All 23 county-run vaccine sites are now accepting walk-in visits. The only exception are those superstations like at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. The Balboa Municipal Gym is one of the county sites offering on-demand vaccines with hundreds of spots open daily. That's located in Balboa Park and is open Tuesday through Friday. Getting back to normal all comes down to how quickly the country is vaccinated. There are new signs that the goal is in reach. Nick Watt reports on the national COVID-19 outlook as we head towards summer.
His name is Alexander Hamilton.
Broadway tickets back on sale today. Cruises almost back, trial voyages with volunteer vaccinated passengers, and kids from Jersey can soon play basketball out of state again.
Things are only going to get better over the summer. I feel extremely optimistic about where we're headed.
The COVID-19 daily infection rate across this country, lowest it's been in 7 months. And
the models projected a sharp decline in cases by July 2021, and an even faster decline if more people get vaccinated sooner.
Vaccinations, the only number going the wrong way right now. Average daily doses and arms down 20% in a week. The president's goal, at least one dose in 70% of adults by 4th of July. Some states already there, a few getting close, some a long way to go. Republicans are most hesitant. But look at this new poll. The percentage of Republicans who say never is falling.
We've encouraged particularly primary care doctors, but all physicians in the state, to personally reach out to people that they have a relationship with and try to make the case for getting vaccinated.
Kim Simmons of Illinois was hesitant, now fully vaccinated.
I don't think it would be good to try to force people to get the vaccine, but I think they should think about their family, their community, and herd immunity.
I'd say immunize at least another 80 million to 100 million people, and then when next winter comes, it will just be a bump instead of a surge. So we can do that.
July 4th, we can probably gather to celebrate independence from the pesky Brits, but not quite independence from this virus.
That was Nick Watt reporting. California is now at 31 million vaccine doses and counting. KPBS is tracking our local progress with a special dashboard at kpbs.org. It includes a map of local vaccination sites. Just click on the vaccines link on our homepage. Vaccines are the dominant story, but testing is still an important part of the county's response. That's especially true for migrants who are being released locally. Alexandra Rangel has more on the county's push to have them tested.
And my concern is that the feds are not COVID testing the migrants that cross without inspection.
San Diego County Board of Supervisors board member Jim Desmond says some migrants getting released from immigration custody aren't properly tested or treated for COVID-19. Desmond made a motion at Tuesday's board meeting to send a letter to the White House requesting that any migrants released in San Diego County should be tested for COVID-19. The motion passed unanimously with a second from Supervisor Chair Nathan Fletcher.
Obviously, we want the federal government to do their job, which is the testing and treatment. And so I think encouraging them to do that, I think, is an appropriate thing for us to do as a board.
Although the county has made great efforts to COVID test asylum seekers, Desmond says he's concerned about migrants who are released straight from Border Patrol custody.
Now, I realize some of them go through Jewish Family Services and other entities, but if they can't take them, then these migrants are let go in San Diego County at transit stations and things like that.
Minority Humanitarian Foundation, a nonprofit in San Diego that helps migrant families, confirmed to KPBS that migrants released by U.S. Customs Border Patrol were not being tested for COVID-19. The nonprofit said dozens are dropped off daily at local transit stations. Alexandra Rangel, KPBS News.
Supervisors are also taking steps to extend protections for renters who face eviction due to hardship from the pandemic. A 3-2 vote this week also freezes certain rent increases until August. Supervisors who support the eviction moratorium say the local action is needed to close loopholes at the state level that allow landlords to kick renters out to make renovations. The city of San Diego is putting together its budget for the upcoming year. It's a much easier task now. Federal relief money is coming in. But as KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen tells us, it might only be a temporary fix.
Federal COVID-19 relief dollars are sparing San Diego from draconian budget cuts this year. But the city's independent budget analyst told council members Wednesday there's still a long-term deficit problem. Services like police, parks, libraries, and trash pickup simply cost more than what the city takes in from taxes and fees. Councilmember Sean Elo Rivera says the city should be honest about that.
The budget situation that we're in, we will not get out of without acknowledging that we simply need more resources to provide the city and its residents what they want and deserve.
Fixing that long-term deficit won't be easy, since raising taxes or fees almost always requires voter approval. As the council was meeting today, activists held a press conference outside City Hall, calling for cuts to the police budget and increases to a host of other priorities, among them infrastructure to adapt to climate change.
While the police budget perpetually increases, environmental investments that would help us survive the coming crisis are far down on the list of priorities. We don't have enough money for more parks, but there is enough money to police the parks.
The council is scheduled to review the budget for every city department over the next week. Mayor Gloria will present his revised budget proposal on May 18th. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
The end of the school year is a few weeks away, and some local educators are being recognized for going above and beyond during a year in which so much was asked of them. KPBS education reporter Joe Hong talked with two of San Diego's Teachers of the Year.
It's been the toughest year, but it's been the most reinvigorating year at the same time.
Thomas Courtney is this year's Elementary School Teacher of the Year at San Diego Unified School District. He said teaching during the pandemic meant readjusting his expectations for his students and for himself.
But there were some moments where I just had to step aside and say, this is my typical standard, and now my standard for right now is going to be here, and I'm going to be okay with that. And that was tough to do.
Courtney said the hardest part of this year was watching his students struggle through a computer screen. He recalled one student whose family lost their home during the pandemic.
You're seeing them on the screen, packing, struggling through that, and then there's the uncertainty. They weren't sure if they were going to be able to stay. They weren't sure where they were going.
But it wasn't just the pandemic that defined the school year. After the murder of George Floyd last summer, conversations about race in the classroom changed.
We talked about the origin of racism. We talked about, systemic racism, and we talked about how it influences their lives, and if not, how it influences other people's lives.
Sharon Apple is San Diego Unified's High School Teacher of the Year. She teaches ethnic studies and 9th grade English at Hoover High. Apple says for the first time in her 20-year career, she was able to address her experiences as a Black educator.
It gives me permission to talk about this fear that I've lived with most of my life. And once I start to talk about it and acknowledge it, then I can start to dissipate it and heal from it.
She said winning Teacher of the Year this year is an overwhelming experience.
I still don't know how to take it, to be that I have been seen, because for a good majority of my career, I felt invisible. And the fact that I am being seen is amazing, and it's still surreal.
The district's Middle School Teacher of the Year is Guadalupe Celadon from the Creative and Performing Media Arts Middle School. Joe Hong, KPBS News.
More people are finding work, just not as fast as we've seen in recent months. The Labor Department's latest monthly jobs report shows 266,000 jobs were filled in April. That's the lowest number since January. The national employment ticked up slightly to 6.1%. Lower paying jobs in restaurants and other service industries are reporting trouble in filling open positions as customer demand picks up. We'll have more on that a little bit later. But first, a centerpiece of the federal government's response to the pandemic was a massive cash infusion for businesses called the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP. KPBS investigative reporter Claire Tregesser found there was vast disparity in how that money was given out in San Diego and elsewhere, favoring wealthy and white areas.
The Corona family had long dreamed of opening a Mexican restaurant in their hometown of Imperial Beach. And in early 2020, they were on their way. Then came the pandemic.
When we were getting ready to open, it was already, everything was closed and everything was completely different for us.
Tanya Corona opened for takeout orders in April, but still struggled to make rent. So when the federal Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, was announced, Corona immediately went to her bank to try to get funding.
They said I didn't qualify for the one they were offering because my business was so new.
The Corona family story is one that became all too common in San Diego County and throughout the country during 2020. $500 billion in federal dollars were sloshing through the economy through the program, but relatively few were ending up in the pockets of business owners in underserved places like Imperial Beach. When you look at the share of businesses receiving loans, there is a stark divide between North and South County. The success rate for applicants from census tracts in Imperial Beach, San Ysidro, Nestor, and Paradise Hills, mainly low-income areas with large minority populations, was 5% or less. But travel north to affluent, mostly white census tracts in places like Carlsbad, Poway, and Encinitas, and the success rates are 96% or above. Data analyzed by the journalism nonprofit Reveal show these disparities exist in the vast majority of large metro areas in the United States. The primary reason for this inequity is that PPP loans were distributed by banks, and many small minority-owned businesses lack existing banking relationships, says Mark Herbert, a small business advocate.
So when you build a program and just bolt it on top of our existing commercial financing system, it's going to exacerbate the problems that had already existed even before the pandemic.
The data show vast inequity in San Diego County. Lenders gave 61% of loans to businesses in majority white census tracts and just under 12% to businesses in majority Latinx census tracts. While Corona was barely hanging on in Imperial Beach, Molly Boyd, the owner of Brill Hair Lounge in Carlsbad, was facing her own crisis. In March 2020, she, like hairstylists everywhere, had to close her salon. Her clients didn't take it well.
Everybody started panicking, not only like health-wise, but like, I have to look good. I mean, we are in California.
She also applied for a PPP loan from her usual bank and was put on a waiting list. Her friends told her about a bank that had no waiting list, and she quickly got funding. The bank, C3 Bank in Encinitas, issued 84% of its loans to businesses in white majority census tracts. But Boyd doesn't see inequity in the process.
If you didn't put in the time and the work and the extra that you needed to in order to stay afloat, then you're just you're just complaining. It's hard to say like, oh, you didn't have internet. Like it's 2021, like everybody has internet. And if you don't have it, then you better get a new phone.
A lot of individuals don't have Wi-Fi, they don't have a computer, they don't have a tablet. So we ultimately started making notifications by making flyers.
Imperial Beach Councilman Matthew Leyba Gonzalez represents the area that got the lowest rate of loans. He says the challenges go beyond internet connections and phones. Many have few, if any, employees, and their prior experiences with banks and other lenders have been more negative than positive.
I feel some of the individuals may have felt a little, inferior as far as applying.
In recent months, the federal government has tried to give out money more equitably, including setting aside a 2-week period where only small businesses in low-income areas can apply. But in the meantime, business owners like Corona in Imperial Beach are looking to the future and hoping for a recovery that will keep them afloat. Right now, she works another full-time job while running the restaurant and taking care of her kids.
We have good days and bad days. I think more bad than good right now.
She's getting ready to open for in-person dining in the next few weeks and hopes new customers will come to sample her dad's specialty, salmon soup. Claire Tregeser, KPBS News.
And that was Vanessa Yerkovich reporting. Immigrant-owned restaurants are the backbone of City Heights, nourishing the neighborhood and helping it recover from the pandemic. Max Rivlin-Nadler is checking in with some of the neighborhood's longtime establishments as part of a series we call City Heights Bites.
We have a war of survival, a new war of survival.
Philippe Massoud never thought he'd be facing a shortage of restaurant workers in the middle of the pandemic.
We have no staff to open for lunch at all.
Dining in the U.S. is at about 90% of pre-pandemic levels, according to Open Table. And nearly 8.5 million Americans are still out of work. But Massoud can't find anyone to fill his 15 open positions, from manager to dishwasher.
Normally you get at least 30, 40, 50 people, 60 people. We only had 3 people respond to our ads, and none of them showed up.
In January, 7% of restaurant operators named recruitment and retention as their top challenge. By April, that number was 57%. One issue, some employees have left the restaurant industry for good, like John Jasinecki, who quit in January after 16 years as a server and bartender.
I had intended on being a lifer.
But with unstable pay and after contracting COVID-19, he knew it was time for a career change.
COVID was very stressful. Yelling at people to put on their masks is not what I want to do every day.
Jasinecki now works in maintenance for several high-rises in downtown Denver.
It's a different world, working 9 to 5 as opposed to 5 to 2.
Restaurants in Miami have been at 100% indoor capacity since October of last year. But Carlos Gazitua says he doesn't have enough staff to open his dining room.
Florida is a bellwether state. We've been open a lot longer than many states in the United States. So this is coming to the theater near you.
And he says it's only getting worse. He can't fill more than 30% of his positions, even after raising wages. He says the $300 weekly expanded unemployment benefit is stopping people from coming back to work.
People should keep the unemployment benefits if they go to work now and they commit to working to the end of the year.
The expanded unemployment benefits don't expire until early September.
We're supposed to go hire people to retain them, but at the same time you're paying unemployment. It creates a conflict of interest, so to speak.
Right, so for 4 months, what is the plan?
Lose more money and do what we can to stay open.
Came to America more than 35 years ago, leaving Ethiopia amid political persecution. He didn't speak much English and didn't have a degree, but within just 2 years, he had saved enough money to be a part of a group of Ethiopian immigrants who opened Red Sea, one of the first Ethiopian restaurants in the region. He took over as owner a few years after that.
Wherever I meet the customer, they love it to come here.
Kibret now runs the restaurant with his wife, Yetanyet. He's seen generations of San Diego residents pass through their doors. He credits the fresh ingredients for giving their food the edge in what has become a much more crowded Ethiopian restaurant scene in San Diego.
People most of the time they're eating our veggies. So yeah, our veggies is very healthy and everything. You know, the way that we are making is most of the food is organic.
But the past year has been hard during the pandemic. He had to close indoor and outdoor dining during public health shutdowns, and he let some staff members go, meaning for much of the time, it's been just him and his wife. It was emergency loans from the county that kept his business afloat, and the kindness of his customers, who have often paid the restaurant far more than what they were being charged.
If I close this one for COVID-19, I'm going to hurt myself, you know, because they love this place. They love it, and they become a family. And they keep calling me, Shimmy, don't close, please, be strong. I know you are strong, working hard. I say, okay, don't worry about it.
Now Kibret is feeling a lot more confident that he'll be able to stay in business, welcoming in customers for injera, fresh veggies, chicken tibs, and afterwards some strong coffee to make sure you don't blissfully nod off on your voyage home. Max Nadler, KPBS News.
As much as things are returning to normal, we're still getting reminders that we're not there just yet. One example is the Miramar Air Show. It's canceled again this year. The military says there's just too much uncertainty over COVID restrictions and what a potential show might even look like. The event usually draws hundreds of thousands of people each year. Part of San Diego's vaccine story includes the military. KPBS health reporter Matt Hoffman has an update on the work being done with service members and their families.
According to data from the Navy, around 60% of San Diego's military population have gotten at least one dose of the vaccine. New numbers showing a combined 66,000 Marines and sailors have rolled up their sleeves so far.
The Department of Defense is not used to giving up their information. Some of it is sensitive.
Congressman Scott Peters, representing San Diego, helped get access to this and other federal data as local health officials are trying to get the most accurate picture of vaccination progress here.
But the county had a problem because there's so many military people. So we got a call from the chairman, Nathan Fletcher, who said, we need that data.
Peters says between active duty, dependents, and other Department of Defense retirees, there are around 328,000 San Diegans who get their health care from a DoD provider.
We need those counts to be able to decide how the whole county is doing.
Peters got the data, and out of the more than 300,000 DoD beneficiaries in San Diego, 29% have gotten at least one dose, while 19% are fully vaccinated. Those numbers are lower when compared to just active duty, but some may have gotten shots outside of federal facilities.
There's probably a lot of Department of Defense active duty or dependents who probably went to a county site. Or they may get it through the DoD. It really doesn't matter where you get it.
County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher spearheaded the effort to get both DoD and Veterans Affairs vaccination data added to county totals.
So we can really track where we are on the progress towards our goals.
As of this week, the VA has vaccinated around 70,000 San Diegans, but Fletcher says it will still take some time to get the military's numbers onto the county's vaccination dashboard.
To date, the numbers that reflect all of those administered by healthcare providers, County of San Diego, pretty much everyone except DOD.
Military officials have also committed to updating local health officials on vaccination progress on a regular basis. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
And that story you just watched is just an example of the in-depth content that's provided by KPBS News. You can find all of our stories on the KPBS YouTube page, and you can also stream KPBS podcasts and watch full episodes of KPBS Evening Edition. And that's all for this special edition of KPBS News. I'm Maya Trabulsi, and for all of us here at KPBS, thank you for joining us.